I was attempting to do my first 7-day water fast. And the problem is I was doing it, and by the third day, my dad was still having me do physical labor chores because we lived on a farm, and so I still had to like pull weeds, rake, and gut the stalls out, all these different kind of things. And when you do a lot of intensive physical labor with a prolonged water fast, it's very difficult. It's definitely something I don't recommend. Hey, what's up, fasters? Today is my 5th day on my 7-day water fast, actually dry fast / water fast journey. As you know from my last video, I stopped my dry fast. I did 4 full days, started taking water, and what happened last night, and the reason why I kind of had to stop is because I got really dry mouth, and it was really hard to talk to patients, and I was starting to get a slight headache, and I was just kind of listening to the body. Headache call it quits. If I wasn't working, I probably maybe push it another day, but just wasn't doable. So I stopped, and then what has also happened is that last night, was still continuous. I got a really bad headache, and it started really coming down. So I started taking some sea salts, as well as I took about 300 milligrams of magnesium, and I did a little bit of peppermint oil to kind of help soothe the pain of the headache last night, and that seemed to help calm it down, especially after I took the magnesium and some sea salts, and was able to take a little bit more water. And then I just went to bed, woke up this morning, felt great, no headache, and was doing just fine, and just taking more water, because now I'm moved in transition to definitely doing more of the water fast portion of my 7-day plus days of fasting. Who knows? We'll see where I'm at 7 days, and I might move on to doing maybe up to 10. We'll just see. Just playing it by day. But other than that, things that have been kind of weird, even when I was doing the dry fast, what I did notice is, and I don't know if you guys experienced this, so please just leave this in the comments section below for people who do dry fasting, or just water fasting in general, prolonged water fasting. But when your muscles, they tend to, especially when they don't have electrolytes such as like magnesium. Magnesium is known to be pretty depleted, but everything else is pretty fine. It's just usually magnesium has shown to definitely be more depleted in your body when you are doing prolonged fasting. And what is funny is, like, when I would sit down or just lay down and have my legs up, my muscles would definitely feel very like cramped, like almost where it was just like a big muscle cramp would definitely happen. Also in the neck, if I would kind of like lay on it hard somewhere, then there would definitely be a big cramp going on. Definitely more typical, because I was just laying down normally. It's not like I was putting my body in a weird position. But this is just very typical because of the magnesium. That can definitely, your muscles can cramp up. So I definitely experience that more with the dry fast versus when I do prolonged water fast, because a lot of times I will mix in electrolytes. And of course with the dry fast, well, you can't really do electrolytes, kind of against the rules, of course, when you're doing dry fast, doing it that way. So, but that's what I was kind of experiencing. I kind of find kind of different with doing that prolonged dry fast portion of my fast. And the other things that have kind of happened today, as far as my results right now, haven't really lost very much weight. More that's happened, obviously, because when you transition from a dry fast to a water fast, you lose a lot of water weight. So when you add the water, I was thinking that I would actually gain a little bit more weight, but that hasn't really happened. In fact, I haven't really lost any weight, so that's good. At least I haven't really gained weight. So probably the next day or so, then it'll start going back down. It's just making that transition from going from dry to water fast. But I'm currently right now at 222 pounds. And I think what I said before, I can't remember where I said I was at before, but I think yesterday or last night it was at 228. So I guess I've lost even a little bit from there. Well, 220.8 pounds where I measured it from last night. So I guess I've lost actually a little bit, but not as much as I was with the dry fasting, probably because of the water absorption. The body's kind of compensating for me not drinking any water for 4 days. But other things that I had to kind of do today, I still worked, actually working up a business plan with one of my business partners, and so we definitely had to do a lot of different things. So, but I felt fine. In fact, I don't feel hungry at all, even more so, I would say. And we had to go out that night. I was meeting up with his new fiance. So we went out to dinner. Obviously, I didn't have anything. We went to one of my most favorite restaurants, Saffron Grill. And, I told him not to worry about it. In fact, I wasn't really hungry. It wasn't that tempting, I'm sure. The smells were great. Saffron Grill is an Indian restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants to go to eat. But I was fine. I mean, it was no big deal. I just drank my water while they were eating, and I got to know more about my good friend's fiance and having conversation. But yeah, I mean, it was no big deal. And then later that night, worked on some other things. But I feel great. No, you kind of reach this what they call kind of more of a euphoria effect of when you transition after pretty much 3 days after fasting, because usually the first 3 days is the most difficult part. It's when you finally get past. Sometimes it's just the first 2 days for some people, but once you get past the second or third day, you don't feel hungry anymore. You're not thinking about food all the time. It's just more, pacing yourself and make sure to reserve your energy as much as possible so you can kind of continue forward versus, pushing your body too much when it comes to just physical tasks. I remember with my very first fast as a kid, this was, and I don't recommend this, my dad and my mom were, really into fasting at the time, and I was about, I think it was 14 or 15, I can't quite remember if I was 14 or 15, and again, I don't recommend this at all. I don't even know why they had me, pushed me to do it. I mean, they didn't force me to do it. I actually just wanted to do it because I thought it was just interesting, and I was attempting to do my first 7-day water fast, and the problem is I was doing it, and by the third day, my dad was still having me do physical labor chores because we lived on a farm, and so I still had to pull weeds, rake, and gut the stalls out, all these different kind of things. And when you do a lot of intensive physical labor with a prolonged water fast, it's very difficult. It's definitely something I don't recommend. So I remember I dealt with had a very severe headache, was very lightheaded, and I just couldn't even concentrate. I was tripping, and I just told my dad, I'm like, all right, I have to quit because this is just not working out for us. So that was my very first attempt, doing a prolonged water fast, and then I did another one, when I was 17, but I paced myself. I wasn't doing physical labor. So I was able to do that, and then I've done some when I'm in my 20s. But it's been about, I would say, a good 3 or 4 years since I've done my last 7-day prolonged water fast. It's been difficult with kids and be able to kind of do it. So this gave me that opportunity to have this chance where my family and kids are down in Oregon at with my in-laws to kind of take this time to be able to focus on my health and to be able to do this prolonged fast. So it's been nice. But yeah, so that's just my update. I'll do another video on for the 6th day and kind of give you guys an update. But basically, just to summarize, really what I have done is, it's important to add the magnesium. So I did about 300 milligrams, kind of add that. Doing about 300 milligrams a day is probably really good, as well as some sea salts. That's always good to make sure to incorporate, and maybe a little bit of potassium you can also incorporate, as well as, when you're introducing water back in, you want to make sure you're introducing it slowly and not just chugging a bunch of water all at once. Just like if you were to break your water fast, you don't want to be consuming a ton of food all at once. It's more about slowly introducing it. But so that's it for today. Until next time, if you haven't subscribed to our channel and want to follow my journey, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, this is Dr. LeGrand signing out. Thanks. Bye.